Okay, so I'm going to go over what to do with your photographs for your white balance project once you have already taken your photographs. So if you need help with the first portion, taking the photographs, please reference the white balance notes. Okay, so you're going to open your images into Photoshop a little differently than you normally would. You're going to go up to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. Now before you do this, you want to make sure that you've imported the photographs to your computer, you've put them in a folder or in a location, you know where to find them easily. So once you select this, you're going to get this dialog box that pops up, and this is where you're going to browse and find the photos on your computer to select. Okay, so I'm going to hold down Command and click on all the images that I am selecting, so all 6 of my photographs, and then I'm going to click OK to open them into Photoshop. Now it's going to take a minute for them to load, and they're going to open all stacked on top of each other. They should be in sequential order. Okay, so at this point, if I'm looking through them, I have one photograph for each white balance setting on my camera. Okay, so now I'm going to start at the top layer, and again, it's helpful if you put your rollers on for that. So you go to View Rollers, and I like to do my rollers in inches. Right now they're in pixels, so if you double click on the ruler, you can switch them to inches or whatever you prefer. So I think inches are the easiest because we kind of know how big an inch is. It's easier for us. And if you wanted to do this perfectly, you would divide it out. So I have approximately 14.25 inches here, and then I have 6 photos. So let me do a quick divide out here on my calculator. I'll use my cell phone and we'll tell you what that is. And now it will vary depending on how large your photograph is. Okay, so I'm working with about 2.37 inches. So I'm going to use that knowledge as I create this. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm on my top layer. I'm going to grab my rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to about 2 and I'm going to go to this line right here, get it. So it's a little shy of 2.5 inches. And then after I have my selected area, I'm going to apply a layer mask. The layer mask is at the bottom center of your layer panel. If you hover over top of it, it'll pop up and tell you what's what. And it looks like the little Japan's flag. It's the rectangle with the circle inside. Now when I apply that, it will just leave that selected section visible, and then I will see the next photo that's underneath. You can see the shift. If you're looking at the horizon line, you can tell that my camera shifted slightly when I was taking the picture, so I'll fix that at the end. So I'm going to click on the second layer down and repeat the same step. Apply the layer mask. Click on the third layer, repeat the same step. If you mess up, you can just deselect, Command D, and try it again. I'm on the 4th layer now. It is a very kind of quick process once you have the images loaded into Photoshop. Keep getting this message popping up to join the internet. And my final one. Okay, so now at this point you can really see that I need to line up my horizon line a little bit. I'm going to use this final photo as a reference to kind of straighten them up. So I'm going to go layer by layer, and I'm going to click on the move tool, and I could actually pick up the layer and scoot it, but I'm going to use the arrow keys to just nudge it up and line up that horizon line. So I'm going to go layer by layer. And I am just clicking on the layer to select it because I do have auto select on up here in my options bar, so that's very important. I could probably spend all day just kind of nudging these and fixing them. Okay, so that's pretty good. And now what I'm gonna do is, let me just get this one quick. Now I'm gonna use the crop tool to straighten it. So the crop tool is our 5th tool down. And if you remember this from last year, you're gonna click on the little button in the options bar that says straighten. It's actually a level. And then you're gonna take your mouse and you're gonna click and drag across, straight across on that horizon line. And it just adjusts it, straightens it up slightly, and you're going to hit the check mark at the top to commit your transformation. And now that leaves me with a little bit of negative space up here at the top. Remember, the checker box indicates transparency, so there's nothing there. So I'm going to just crop off the very tip top using the crop tool, and I'm going to hit the check mark then. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You can see clear strips of all of the 6 white balance settings. So now I can flatten it. So to flatten it, you're going to do layer, flatten image, and then at this point you can save it and upload it to Google Classroom for your assignment.